Lee Tony Ware and myself, Paul Rees, hanging on in there for sure, trying to get in, trying to sneak in wherever I can with Lee to keep things absolutely. But before we start, I have sticky internet today. I apologize in advance every so often. I've been trying to mend it.
We've agreed if Paul freezes, I freeze as well.
There is something going on. Every couple of minutes it's going through a double cycle of stickiness. But here's this week's...
Do we practice freezing, Paul?
Go. And use this week's subject, Lee, and I'm really stoked about it because there's an invisible fine line that's not invisible, but people do not recognize it, and it's so important. And you know what is the difference between a business connection and a network connection? Now, people kind of put these in the same place. I have learned since working with yourself, since being mentored by yourself, and after 19 years, I just didn't get the quality of difference in the both. You know, when we think about business connection, network connection, people are merging them, and I think that's when it gets lost, Lee. You know, and I'm going to open this up to you because I am still growing this within my emotional understanding of how I, give time, receive time, give, you know, share my database and receive a database connection wise. I've realized there's a massive difference. And unless you appreciate that, you can burn everything quickly. You can burn your connections, burn your relationships, burn your time, burn your energy, burn your business just by not understanding the difference between a business connection and network connection. Over to you, Lee Tony Ware.
Well, there's a transactional, like you've got the transactional relationships where, I don't know, if you took it back to the old corner shop or the old, you know, news agents type, you might go to the news agents every morning and get your milk and newspaper. Yeah. You're right, Alf. Yeah. Just paper and thing, put it on my account, you walk out. How much time are you spending with that person? So that's a transactional. Mm-hmm. You know the person owns the corner shop. Yes, you might go in and say, and then now you want to utilize Alf, who owns the corner shop, to get, like Paul said to me, yeah, I'm opening a milk roundup. Yeah, I want to get some news agent. Well, I know Alf at the corner shop. Oh, do you? Yeah, have a chat with him. So I go into Alf and I have a chat with him and say, Alf, my mate Paul, he's opened up like dairy and he's got milk going. Wants to know, yeah. Now, me, I've known Alf for years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all I've ever said to Alf, pint of milk, Alf, and a newspaper, mate, put it on my account, and once a month, either me or the missus paying the account. Yeah. That's a business relationship. It's not even a relationship. That's a transactional relationship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just, even though you might know them for years, yeah, I know, so you got to be careful with this one, like, I know them for years. No, like, knowing someone is knowing someone, yeah? Okay. So, like, how much do you know about them? Do you know what their hobbies and interests are? Do you have any form of human connection with them, or do you just have a business connection? There's nothing wrong with that, because I've got loads of friends that I know very little about, as in personally. However, our synergy and our attractiveness to each other is business. Okay. Yeah, we respect each other at a business level, and we learn from each other. So I can phone up if I get stuck or say, how'd you get around such and such? Or, do you know? Yeah, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Couldn't do it for me, could you? Yeah, no problem. So we can elevate and escalate, and they do the same with me. Mm-hmm. Now, some people, this happened to me, and this is probably a good story. Yeah, I have to be careful with the names here because this could be seen as a negative story. Now, I have a lot of apartments. Yeah. So Ros and I would buy carpet by the roll, and we have a shed, and it sits on a rack. So we have a tenant change round, as in one moving out, one moving in. The carpet needs changing. We put it off the roll, cut it, and we fed it. As in one of the lads would fit it, whatever. And we're buying carpet that you might buy, I don't know, 20, 30 quid a yard. We're buying it like 7 quid a yard. Yeah. So there's a big difference. So years ago, I had a chap that came to me through a friend, and I do a lot of, I suppose, what some might call psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, NLP, whatever. Yeah. And a friend of mine said to me, would I do some work with a friend of his who had phantom limb pain? And this guy had severe pain in his arm, and his arm was still there, so he still had, but he couldn't had no feeling in the arm, but he could he had a lot of pain. Long story short, he came to me, and within, I don't know, a couple of sessions, the pain was gone. It never returned.
Wow.
Now his uncle phoned me, and his uncle owned the biggest carpet stores in Dublin. And everybody knew this guy's name. This guy was a celebrity in carpet. And he phoned me up. He said, I can't believe what you've done for my nephew. He said, absolutely phenomenal. He said, if you ever need anything, he said, just phone me. So, and I knew what he'd done. And I said to him, I'm looking for a strong introduction to carpet wholesalers. I said, years ago, I said, when I used to do a lot of property in the UK, I used to buy for this wholesalers at Petticoat Lane. Yeah, so I could go up there and I would buy, used to do nursing homes, rest homes, and different things like that, flats. So I was buying rolls and rolls of carpet. And he said, yeah, I'll introduce you to the main distributors of carpet in Ireland, which he did. He said, so we made an appointment. I went up, we had lunch and that, and he took me down. And he introduced me to the owner. And he said, I need you to look after Lee. Yeah, like you look after me. I want you to selling carpet at the price that I've sold it. Now, this bloke had carpet stores, so he could buy carpet way, way cheaper than I ever could. He said, but I want you to treat him like he's my son.
Wow.
So that's a relationship type referral. This bloke wasn't recommending me because of my business, yeah. He was recommending me because of a personal problem I sorted for his nephew.
So, Lee, this is not a business connection now, then?
Oh, this is a big business connection. This bloke, you couldn't have wished for a better business connection in Ireland.
Yeah.
But I got it on the personal.
I see.
He phoned me. He didn't phone me and say, like, as in, what type of referrals you're looking for. His nephew had tried to commit suicide twice because of this pain. They tried everything. They even burnt the nerve end. They even burnt the nerve endings out of his arm. And I was the hocus pocus that they, like, literally everything else, yeah, had been done. The bloke had even gone to Lord's twice. And they sent it to me. And literally, he stayed down with one of the apartments. And he arrived, I think, on the Thursday, about 4 o'clock. We done a session at about 5 for about 45 minutes. He stayed in the apartment for the night. And I saw him again, say, 9 or 10 in the morning, spent another session with him. That was the first night he ever slept properly. Yeah. Wow. And he was on sleeping tablets because he couldn't sleep with it. So I said, don't take sleeping tablets. That was the first night he slept. And he came in the morning, he couldn't believe it. Now, his mother, yeah, who was his mother was over the moon. She said, I can't believe it. His mother came down with him. And he never had any problems. So he spent like about, I don't know, an hour and a half with me, and he went away, and he never had any problems. So his uncle phoned me, yeah, out of gratitude, yeah, and he asked me, was there anything he could do for me? And I said to him, because I knew who his uncle was, I didn't know who his uncle was until he said, like, is there anything you do? He said, what he said was basically, come up to my store, pick what you want. Pick what you want. Come and he said, get your house carpeted, get whatever you want. Sheepskin rugs, whatever you want. Just come into my store. He said, we do some furniture as well. Just pick what you want. He said, and I'll have it delivered to you. I said, I don't need any of that. He said, oh, no. He said, no. He said, honestly, we're so grateful. And so he said, there must be something I can do for you. So I said I was looking for an introduction to carpet firms, yeah, as in the suppliers. Now, I got to buy carpet, yeah, at the price of big, like, biggest one in the country.
Yeah.
Was buying carpet, yeah. That was one. Now, what happened then, business relationship, I had a very good business relationship with somebody local to me, knew him for years. Yeah. I don't know how he found out, but he found out. Now, he bought his carpet from the suppliers I bought carpet out. Now, in the early days, I used to buy it from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll in and roll there. And then I don't know how he worked out. There's no reason. I put roll here. There's no like contract. I just went in. I need a roller carpet. And anyway, long story short, he phoned the wholesalers in Dublin and told the wholesalers not to sell me any carpet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now I phoned up for a roller carpet. I should phone up for 2 roller carpet, and they said we can't sell it to you. I said, oh, why's that? He said because of X, Y, Z, and he said that he won't buy carpet from us. I said, all right. I said, that's a bit out of order, that, isn't it, really? Well, he said, you can see his point. I said, no, I can't. I said, I'll tell you why. So I said, I'll tell you why. I said, because you were asked to look after me. And this is where the business relationship comes in.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the business personal relationship comes in. So I said, let's call the fella Dave, yeah, that tried to stop me and get buying carpet. He actually stopped me. I couldn't buy carpet, even though Ross and I had loads of rolls of carpet. He just put the mockers on it and said, no, that was it. So I said, oh, fair enough. So I phoned the other fella, let's call him John. I said, John, can you do me a favour? And he said, yeah. Now, by this time, I've got a really good relationship with this guy. Not a business relationship, but he's in business. I'm in business, but I've got a personal relationship with him. Can you do me a favour? He said, yeah. I said, can you phone the carpet distributors and tell them not to sell carpet to Dave? And I told him what happened. He went, yeah, I will. And he phoned him up. He said, don't sell nothing. Scrap a lino, piece of carpet to the fella. Now, me, stopped me from buying a couple of rolls of carpet every 3 months, yeah? I just put him out of business.
Wow.
One phone call from me stopped. He had no other supplier that he could get it. Then he phoned me. He said, what right have you got to do this to me? And I said, I didn't want to do it to you. I just want to teach you a lesson not to do it to me. He said, how did you get to buy this carpet and this, that, and the other? And I've been doing this for 20 years. I said, because I have a personal relationship. I said, it doesn't matter how many rolls of carpet you buy. It's never going to supersede the relationship I've got. And I said, the relationship I've got is with the person who buys the most carpet in Ireland.
Yeah.
I said, and he buys it from this supplier. And he's phoned the supplier and done exactly to you what you did to me. I said, now, Hogan's ain't going to sell you any more carpet. So I said, you got to make do. I said, you got to put it right. He said, how do I put it right? I said, well, one, I said, you realise you're not in control of my business. I said, I thought we were friends. I said, but you made me a transaction. I said, and you tried to stop my transactions so that I would have a transaction with you. I said, there was no contract with me to buy carpet from you. I said, I haven't bought rolls of carpet off you. I said, probably 4 or 5 years. He said, yeah, because you've been buying it from them. I said, yeah, fair enough. I said, but that's my prerogative. So the point in a business relationship, that I had a business relationship with Dave, I thought I had a friendship relationship, but he made our relationship transactional.
Okay.
Now, the fellow that owned the biggest carpet stores in the country, I had a personal relationship with, because I'd done something personal. I never done it. I never helped his nephew because I wanted cheap carpet. I helped his nephew, never even knew who his nephew was. Yeah, it was about his pain. That was it.
Yeah.
Because it affected the family so much that when I helped their nephew get over it, they thought I was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. I wasn't. I just applied a skill set I learned. So when we put personal business, that's where the 11K is. But what we're inclined to do is use our personal skills or utilize our personal skills to create a relationship. But we only ever really interact when it's transactional. When there's no transaction or nothing coming in, no referral from the business, we drop that person. Where a personal relationship normally could be done around hobbies, playing pool, fishing, interests, I don't know, astronomy, whatever. And we've got something personally in common, and you're in business and I'm in business. We have similar values and principles, similar beliefs.
Yeah.
And that unites us, which means we're not transactional. We're
Okay.
emotionally invested. And in that level of relationship, I know if I ask you for anything, Paul, and vice versa, you know, if I could do it for you, it's in my network, I will get it for you.
Yeah.
And now I might say to you, my diary's full. My diary's always full. But if I said to you, well, I'll say it in live meetings, in members meetings, so I can do that for you. You're going to need to remind me. Because sometimes I'm in real time. I'm coming off of one meeting, going to another. I mean, the other day I done meetings on a Wednesday, and my first meeting was 7 a.m. My last meeting was, I think, finished at 8:30 p.m.
Wow.
So I was just in one day, from networking, and like the ones that people knew about. But over the course of that day, I probably interacted and spoke to 200 people.
Wow. Lee, let me ask.
I had 5 different events. Now,
let me ask you a question then. Do you build your business through network connections or business connections?
Well, they should be both, really.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And I suppose if I take it back to old school, now networking the way we do it now and the way we know it and what's in the books, I would disagree with a lot. And I'll tell you why. I grew up in Ireland in a rural part like not like in Dublin, and everybody knows everybody. Yeah. Now they either know you for being good or they know you for being bad. Yeah, as in you've got a good reputation or a bad reputation. So me, and I don't know whether you could do this in your town. I think you could do this in Wales. Very few. I could go into town, and I don't care if it's a major supermarket, as in brand. And if I forgot my money, my cards, my everything, I could walk up to the manager or the shop owner, and I could say, "I'll come to town without any money, Paul. You haven't got 100 quid on you. I can get off here." And they would give it to me. I would go into a main supermarket in town, main brand, and if I went out without my card or whatever, I bet you I could get a week shopping and come home just on my name.
Wow.
Because everybody knows everybody. And I've done it. I've gone into town. And I've gone up and like shopkeepers, people that own the shops, because our families go back a couple of generations. So the point of that is that they're not meeting you on face value. They know your character. They know your integrity. And other people say, reputation is what people say about you when you're not there. Now, they might like you. Yeah, people now they might like you. Like I would say there's a lot of people don't like me. Yeah, I think I trigger people because I'm very accountable.
So true.
Yeah, I trigger people, but I don't think they'd ever think I was a liar. Or they might like me, but I swear, if you like people up there, trust me before most, because I'm that honest. And I don't trigger them to be disrespectful. I call them out on their BS, their belief systems.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? Then fair enough. And then I ask them, well, how about this? If they can't give me those things, it should be. So, for instance, you go into a cafe and you order a fry-up, and the plate comes on the table. Yeah, you're ordering English breakfast, an Irish breakfast, whatever the traditional breakfast is in the country you're in. And in an English breakfast, that might be sausage, bacon, eggs, beans, toast, and a cup of tea. And it comes along, and you've got a cold tea and just 2 eggs on the plate. And you go, where's the beans and the sausage and the tomato, and the rasher? Where is it? Oh, yeah, no. Now, the point of me saying that is that some people come to business and they've just got the eggs and they put a good lot of language around it, and you think they've got the sausages and the bacon and the beans and the black pudding, whatever. And they haven't. Now, a good business person will know that. Nothing wrong with you not having it. But 2 things don't do. 1, don't BS, because that will damage your reputation more than anything. So if you can't, when you say it, you should be able to make it happen. This fake it till you make it, feel the fear and do it anyway, doesn't work in business. It does not work in business. It's the quickest formula for distrust. Now you're better off to say, I just do the eggs. I specialise in the eggs. I don't do the sausages, the rasher, the beans, the toast, and I don't make tea and coffee. Well, and now, if I need the sausage to ration it, however, I collaborate with Paul. He does the sausage, and I collaborate with Maria. She does the bacon. Nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're starting out, nothing wrong with that. But try and be all things to all people and say, then the Richard Branson, a lot of people use this line. Richard Branson would say yes, even though you can't do it. And I would agree entirely. So this is where it sounds contradictory.
Yeah.
I can say yes. Why? Because I know the people who's got the rash of the beans and the sausage, and I know they come with the credibility. And I'm not putting myself in the same category as Branson, but there is a lot of wisdom in what he says. I will always say yes if it's within my business growth goals, and I will say saying yes to something doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Because if you say yes to everything, or if I flip it around this way, if you say no to nothing, are your yeses sincere at all? Now, I was at a Christmas dinner, excuse me, a business dinner, and I was asked, now bear in mind, you've got to hear this. I represented Ireland for Toastmasters, and I was in an international speech competition. I only got a few speeches away from world champion, but I literally won every heat in the country. Yeah? So in Ireland terms, I was a good speaker. Yeah, I don't know whether I was or weren't, but they thought I was. Now I'm sitting now. Now I went into Toastmasters to learn to speak. I was in it a few weeks, and now representing it because it was a new club. You're supposed to have 7 speeches under your belt to get into an international competition. I never had one. And I ended up representing the country, never had a clue.
Wow.
Never had a clue. I just got up and done the thing. Yeah, and why me? And I would probably the same as everybody else. I wanted to know why. See, I wanted to be aware of what I was doing so I could improve on it. Anyway, locally in that, right, I've been going to get my hair cut, whatever, and people go, well done, mate, well done, yeah. And I had a friend of mine, I only got connected him with another guy the other day, and he was coming up to be the president. He's about a month or 6 weeks away to being the president of the Irish Hotel Federation, and he said to me, would you do me a favour and teach me how to do like speeches and different things? Because he knew I was representing the country. He knew. He thought it was brilliant. I said, yeah, that isn't my skill set. And he laughed. I said, no, honestly, that isn't my skill set. I said, I've just told a story. My story.
Yeah.
I said, everybody sees it as a speech. I've just took a small piece of my life and told a story. I said, obviously, I've told it well because I'm representing the country. I said, I wouldn't know how to write a speech any more than you would. Well, he said, I just thought because you're representing, he said, I need to deliver it well as well. I said, no, I'll put you in contact with somebody who can. Now, that person got $3.5 grand worth of business from it. But that person knew how to write a speech and why it was that order. Yeah. She knew. Now, I was at Christmas dinner not being on Christmas Day, a dinner leading up to Christmas for business people, sitting around the table, and this lady I never met before, but from a big company, there was loads of people at this table that were very well positioned in business. And some of us knew each other really well, and some brought people they knew really well. So everyone at the table knew each other in some way, or knew of each other, and knew they were in a safe place and were with very respectable being trustworthy business people, and capable business people, people who understood business. And this lady said across the table, Ros was with me, she said, Lee, our company's looking to sort of upscale the salespeople on presenting. And I was talking to Jackie, and Jackie said I should talk to you. She said they need some of your skill set. She said I've seen you on stage. She said absolutely phenomenal. She said, and we've got a good budget for it. Would you any idea what your diary's like in the new year? And I said, that's not my skill set.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
The good budget, I know what the budget was, between 30 and 50,000 to upscale.
Yeah.
And I said, that's not my skill set. And the table laughed. And I said, honestly, it ain't. I said, can I do it? Have I done it? Yeah. Do I know how I do it? Do I know how to transfer that skill? No. So I can put you in contact with somebody that does, but I don't know. Nowadays, Would I have that skill? Can I transfer it? Do I have it to a high level? And the person I learnt from, could I outperform them? Yes, because I spent another 5 or 6 years owning it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can transfer it. And I understand a framework. I understand not just a framework, I also understand that in a sense of speech, as in a story type speech for empathetic connection. I also understand the copywriting framework. So if I'm selling from the stage at the back of the room, there's so many different levels, but to keep that connection with the audience. So the point I'm making is this: if we're not honourable, and the lady, when I said it to her, I said, well, I can connect you with somebody. The lady started laughing, and they went, seriously? I said, oh, no, I'm serious. I said, I know the difference being able to know something and deliver it and put it in a framework and teach you. I said, I know the difference. I said, now, you ask me on the stuff I'm good at, I said, I'll lay it out. And I said, there's nobody else you'll put in the room better than me. But on this, I said, can I do it? Can I go in and do it for you? Yes. Would there be any science behind it, any understanding behind it? No. I said, which means you'd be giving me 30 to 50,000 for nothing. Will you see a bump? I said, yeah, you'll get the placebo effect of what I do.
Oh, wow.
But the chap who represented Ireland for Toastmasters coming in, you've seen this bloke, here's his video, whatever, this bloke's unreal. He's coming in to teach us. Yeah, I'd get the placebo effect bump. And if I didn't get the bump, they'd blame the people that I was teaching, not me. But I wouldn't have been the person to bring in the room. That's honour, that's integrity. However, because I do business like that, when I say I can't do it, I don't fake it till I make it. But I will say, yes, I can get somebody. And if you want, yeah. And sometimes I've said yes, and I've brought that person in. I'll say, now, it won't be me. I'll come in and do a bit with him, but I'll bring a member of my team, somebody I collaborate with. Is that okay? Yeah, not a problem. And I take that person in. And normally the author. So if somebody asks me to do brand work, can I do work on brand? Yeah. But if I wanted somebody, I would bring somebody in that knows how to do brand like the back of their hand. And how do you know it? Not because they're good at it. Can you see the results in the real world?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can see the results in the real world, and is it historical? Have they made a few mistakes? Yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
But if you can't, success is rinse and repeating. And especially when you put money into it. Yeah. When you put money into it, I've got a client that said to me, can you, and you've got to hear this, yeah, can you help me scale my business? Yeah, he didn't have a business. He wanted to start a new business from 0 to 100 million in 5 years. And he asked me that question. And I said, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right. So he said, brilliant. So he's a client of mine. Could I show him the formula to do it? And could I upskill him and tell him what we were going to learn to do it? And did I cover like so many different things? I said, but it's going to be a deep dive. The first 3 to 4 months, we're just going to be doing foundational work.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have to get a team on. And that team's going to have to be trained in systems, process, and procedures. So we're going to spend another 3 months just outlining the systems, the process, and procedures, and the qualities and skills we need. And do they already have connections to the market? Yeah, so we were going to go out to find, if you're going to put a team out and you want to win the Super Bowl, or you're going to want the Beckhams. So then I said to him, have you got a budget to do this? He said, yes. I said, then we can do it.
And this only is, so this is still a business connection that we are talking about here.
Well, and this is the point, a business connection, or you got the relationship connection. So the carpet shop one plays it perfectly. When you got the relationship, and I know about Alf.
Yeah.
Now I've got a relationship, a business connection and a business relationship, 2 different things. The relationship part means I know some personal details from them. I can have a business relationship with them, as in, I don't know, you bought this pen off me, you bought Popeye's pens off me every month. Yeah, I can ask him a favour. Yeah, but there's no depth to it. So a business connection, a business transactional interaction, yeah, the word business relationship is misused.
Okay.
Relationship means that there's more than transaction there.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be in a relationship with Debs if all you ever done was bought stuff from her, or she stole stuff from you?
Well, no.
Right. So you go into, I don't know, Marks and Spencer's, you go and buy your stuff. You got a transaction. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no relationship. You might have seen it's Carol or John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, Carol or John. Or you might have seen, M&S. Oh, it's very weird that, John, isn't it? Yeah. That you've got the same surname as everybody in the shop. What do you mean? M&S. Yeah. But the point I was trying to make to you is you don't know them.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to that shop regularly and you go, all right, John, because John's the person
Mm-hmm.
who always serves you, and you have the chat, and how's is it get ready for Christmas? So it's good to see the decorations up on it. Be January before we know it, and we have those interactions.
Yeah.
They're expected. They're given. They're just part of being a social construct.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see John quite regularly, I might move beyond the transactional because it's uncomfortable to stay there because I'm dealing with John every Wednesday or
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 times a week. That's just like oxygen. It's expected. All right, John, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm always getting my stuff here. Does he play football? I don't know. Does he drive? I don't know. Has he got any kids? I don't know. So you don't know him then? No. So, well, why do you talk to him like you know him? Well, politeness. So some business connections, it's just politeness.
Yeah, yeah.
If there's no depth now, because you've done business for 20 years, they might want to keep your business, so they go the extra mile. They don't know nothing about it, but Paul Rees, he's booked pens off us for the last 20 years. He asked me a favour this morning. Like, I don't know what he's asked me, but Ross, can you get on with it? Because I don't want to let the guy down. I don't want to go looking somewhere else for pens. So the only reason I'm doing it is because I don't want to lose the sales.
So that would be like a business logic relationship then. Because here's what I want to touch on in the last couple of minutes.
That's right.
So let's say that, so me and you, we met online. You invited me into the Brexit. That's how we met. And I didn't know you from Adam until that given point in time. Now I'm going to say we've met in person. You have been a huge influence in these last 8 months for me. But we went the extra mile and we did it. We
got a relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know everything about you. You don't know everything about me. But we know enough to know that our values aligned, our values aligned, our principles aligned. That we have a similar perspective. We could probably fall out of 1,000 things. Yeah, I would say by like the way you leave, Tony Ware. I would say you've probably done singing and choirs and different things like that. I haven't. Yeah, so I'm sure you've got different interests to me. However, our values and principles are bang on line.
Okay.
Yeah, that and I know that without even asking you 50 questions.
And do you think that's missing though? Because when we think about everything's done via Zoom, do you think people would by Zoom have become too casual, but yet have upgraded that casual conversation into what is a connection, but really is not? It's no more than the chap at the till in the supermarket.
Well, yeah, I suppose it comes back to sometimes like if a bit like the internet this morning, if it freezes. Is that some connections are like that? They're just very weak, and they stop at some point because there's no depth to it. So and that obviously we've got to start a relationship somewhere. So Brexit or the Authentic Network and member meetings like them or ECI is a good place because there's a lot of work done for you. Before you ever get there, to running those events and putting the right people there. I mean, you come to our meetings, you won't see links in the chats or anything like that because all the people that done it, they've either been asked not to or I've removed them and blocked them from coming back because I want the first thing you must have in any relationship is safety.
Yeah.
You've got to have safety, and then safety's in the present, and then you've got to have security. Now, to ensure security, the thing that ensures security is reputation, right? So your reputation superseded, I know mine does. And then you got to have respect. See, if you're interacting, you might follow somebody's rules, and then you think when the meeting's over, I'll reach out to Paul and John and Mary, and I'll sell them my stuff. Yeah, no, I don't do that because I even showed you this morning before we come on. I get messages from people telling me that that's happening.
Yeah.
And what do? I put them in a spreadsheet And then when my meetings are coming up to literally the morning of, I'm going down and I'm looking to see if that person's name there. And if it is, I've removed them from the list. And I also tell the people in my team, that person's not coming in the meeting. Now, I don't leave it like that. I message them and I say the first time, I won't do it first out. I'll say, this is has been drawn to my attention. If you do this anymore to anybody, because some of them were doing it prior to the event.
Wow.
Yeah, I will report you to LinkedIn.
That's like a negative connection, isn't it?
Well, yeah, not only that, they're damaging my reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to look at it this way. If it's prior to your shop's opening, let's say, I don't know, let's say you sell iPhones, it's a Monday morning and you've got 20 people camped outside waiting for your shop to open to buy these new iPhones. And I come along, Paul's nowhere to be seen, and this is prior to his shop opening, on the public pavement, but they're only there because Paul's shop and Paul's got his iPhones or whatever he's selling. And I come along and I'm in the queue having a chat. And they go, you here for the new iPhone? Oh, no. I've got loads of them new iPhones. What do you mean you've got loads of them? I've got loads of them in the car there. I've just come here to get some screen protectors. I haven't got any, so I'm just queuing up to get like a couple of hundred. Why do you need a couple of hundred? Well, I've got a couple of hundred of these new iPhones. Not only that, they're like 100 quid cheaper than what he's charging.
Wow.
Yeah. And well, how can you do that? Well, I don't have all the rates and that. I have like, yeah, and also if people buy two, I give them 300 quid off. Let's have a look. Now I'm poaching business from Paul.
Yeah.
Paul's unbeknownst, and if Paul come along and said, "Oh, what you're doing?" Person was free country, innit? I'm talking to him on the pavement. There's nothing you can do. But the only reason that we're able to talk to that person in the first place is because of Paul's reputation and what Paul's offering.
Yeah.
And then other people come along and try and poach off it. That's what a lot of people do on LinkedIn. Now, when they reach out to you privately, nothing to do with Lee Tony Ware, but when they're coming to one of my events and they've registered for the event, and then they go into the event and they start messaging the people that's coming to that event, that's like poaching off the sidewalk.
Wow.
And I will say to them, yeah, about it nicely. I have a template message, and sometimes I'm sending these messages about 30 times a week.
Wow.
And then, if their name comes up after they've had that message, because part of that message is I will report you to LinkedIn. If this happens again, you're quite welcome to my meeting. However, if you do poaching in the meeting or after the meeting with this similar carry on, then you will be banned from my network. And I will tell everyone in my network not to let you in theirs. Now, I know a lot of people that run networks all over the world, people like me. Between us, we have an audience, I would say, between us. Yeah, I reckon we could get up. If we all come together, I reckon we could get up to probably, we would have an audience of probably 2 or 3 million people.
Wow.
So the difference is, so look at it this way. If you wanted to know, and this is what people miss with networking. If you wanted to know, say, the people in the House of Parliament, all the people there, and you knew the Prime Minister, do you think that Prime Minister could get you to everybody in the House of Commons?
I wouldn't know.
Right. So let me do it another way.
Would you actually? I don't.
You got the football manager. What's your favourite football team?
Chelsea.
Right. Who's the manager of Chelsea?
The manager. That's all I know.
Right. Well, the manager of Chelsea. Imagine you knew the manager of Chelsea.
Okay.
And he was a good friend of yours, not a transactional relationship, a friend of yours. And my son, William, who's 10 years old, wanted to meet the Chelsea team. And I said to you, Paul, and you said, oh, yeah, I'm at the matches all the time. My mate's the manager. And yeah, he tells the coaches what to do. He tells everything. William loves Chelsea, mate. Oh, it's his dream team. You wouldn't do us a favour, Paul, to see if you could get him to one of the matches and down the locker rooms and that. You talk to the manager, and that manager could get the coaches and all the team to sign the T-shirts. Some people are networking with the people on the checkout rather than the owner of the store. Some are networking up. When you're working with people a bit like, say, in a sense, when people run networks, they already have the network. They can get you to anybody in the network, and because, and see, sometimes it's not you they value. So, for instance, look on your YouTube channel, all the people you've interviewed.
Yeah.
All of those people you've interviewed, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure over that interview, you've built some form of relationship. So if I really wanted to, I could go and look at all the people you've interviewed and say, oh, do you know, you obviously know this person. Yeah. Couldn't connect me, Paul, could you? Yeah, of course I can, mate.
100%.
Right. But if you ain't got a relationship with that person and it's a transactional and they put a pen off you, would you connect them?
No.
Now you know the difference between
Wow. And do you know what it reminds me of, Lee? It reminds me of, you know, when you have these big business expos and someone is paid to exhibit, and you find as an exhibitor, all you're doing is receiving business cards from visitors all day and haven't actually given one out. And I've experienced that. It's a terrible situation when you've paid hundreds of pounds to give information out, but yet people are visiting are only interested in giving you their cards and don't want to know anything about your business that you've paid to exhibit. You know, it's a similar kind of situation I'm seeing.
Well, it can be, and I would agree with that. But you really want to do business exhibits and you've done the stand, go and talk to the events manager and get a relationship with them because they know everybody. Yeah. And then if you said to them, well, look, I've done all this and that, and couldn't do me a favour, could you? Once you got the relationship, yeah. Couldn't go down through that list. I'm looking for people that are in business in XYZ industry. Yeah, let me have a look, Lee. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Brilliant. So you want a good form of networking? This is networking. If you've got the relationship. What are you looking for, Paul? I'm looking for such and such in business. What area? Yeah, oh, brilliant. Yeah, 3 people in my phone. Oh, I could say to you, yeah. Right, what I'm going to do, Paul, is I'm going to go down through my phone. I'm going to start at A, and I'm going to tell you who they are. And I'm going to tell you, I've got, and I'm going to work down all the people that's in my phone that's in business. Now, in my contacts, just see, is there a contact number here? Just see, manage all contacts. All contacts, and this is in my phone, as in I've got their phone number, 7,603.
Wow, Lee.
Right. So I've got 7,000, and out of those, I would say, I don't know, it's a guess, but good 6,000 plus are business people. So I can go here and I can go, what type of business you're looking for, Paul? What country? Okay, mate, yeah. I've got 4. Yeah, what is it you need? Yeah, so let's say, and bear in mind, we're not on about do they sell pens, they're not transactional. So let's go with here. Right, we're in the A's. I trouble with surname. Adam's his first name. I don't need to know his surname. His surname is M-A-R-X. Now you go and put him into LinkedIn, you'll see he's a networker. Knows loads of people, and he's in the A's. Now, Adam, if you see all the people he knows, you'll see he knows a lot of top people. So I could go down to Aidan. Yeah, I won't mention his surname, but he has an IT company that does business with Baxter Healthcare International.
Oh, wow.
So he does business internationally, but Baxter Healthcare does all their IT internationally. Well, internationally is within Europe. So I know that, and he's a friend of mine. He's in my phone. Yeah, and I only had breakfast with him there a couple of days ago. So if you were in the IT sector and wanted to get into it and weren't direct competition to him, or he was looking to expand his business, he might be able to, rather than go out staff member, you might have a certain skill, and I could say, oh, well, look, you're looking to do that. Let me have a chat to my mate. Now, because you and I have a relationship, you can't do this with a transactional relationship, but because I have a relationship with you and I have a relationship with him, I'm the glue that can put the two of you together. And I can say to him, well, look, you know you want to expand, and I know, obviously, finding the right IT people, Paul's got the IT people. And Paul he's got literally blokes sitting there, scratching their head, well, you've got loads of work. how about put the two of you together and you two have a real chat to see how you can serve each other, where you can elevate his business and you can actually fulfill your contractual agreements to the next level. Yeah. And like, there's a chap here, another one. If I went there, it's just his name pulled up there, and I've got a lot of L's, a lot of A's, and that. But when I flicked it there a minute ago, yeah, there's a chap here in my phone, and I'm sure you've heard of the company Kingspan. Big brand name. Well, there's a chap in my phone that could bring some of the top people in Kingspan to a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner table just on the phone.
Wow.
So if you've got the relationships, it's not, I don't need to know them. I don't need to know them. I'll give you the last story. Crawley auctions in near Three Bridges. I don't know whether they're still going, car auctions. I used to have a lot of cars. Like used to, I mean, when Roz and I went on a date, we actually went to a car auction because I said, well, I'm going to the car auction beforehand. If you want to come with me, you're welcome to. If not, I'll meet you after. And she came to the car auction. I was at the car auction. I bought 27 cars on that night.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Well, you might have thought I bought them just to show off. No, I would go to an auction and I would buy as many cars as I could. And so long story short, Crawley car auction, the previous owner, I had about 100 cars in Crawley auction. And Crawley auction then started bouncing checks. They didn't bounce only on me, and I pulled all my cars out. And I brought all my cars back to a car yard I had. And I was then distributing them out the Paddockwood car auction, at the time Shoreham car auction, which became Littlehampton, and Eastbourne car auction. And it got, a new person took it over the auction. They phoned me up and they said, Lee, and the auction was dead. They had about six cars going through, so nobody was coming. And he said, would you come back to the auction? And I said, no. And he said, what do I have to do to get you back? Yeah, and this is a new guy. Yeah, so he said, I believe you've got a lot of cars from the auction. He said, not only that, he said, you've done a lot of dealing here. So I said, yeah. So he said, would you come up? So we agreed, and if he put money in escrow, so I put cars up there that the money held in escrow, that any cars I put into the auction, that the money was already sitting there even before they sold, and that it would be released. I said, I'll work with you on that. I said, until we've got the trust, because I didn't know him. The place he took over or bought had a bad reputation. So long story short, anyway, I'm sitting down with this guy, and he sent transporters to pick my cars up to take them up. I never even had to pay an auction fee. All he wanted was stock, which was brilliant for me. All the cars in the auction were my cars. I mean, literally the whole auction was my cars. So it was ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. But ka-ching's no good if I don't get paid on the back end.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I got the name very well. And he rolled his R's very well. His name was Rupert. I mean, could he say an R? Oh, man. I mean, could he say an R? Yeah, I can't say Rupert the way, what's your name? Rupert. It's the way he said it. Like, all his R's and everything was said how it was supposed to be said.
Yeah.
And he said, I was in a boiler suit. Yeah. And the reason being, I was always wearing good clothes underneath because I was sort of putting cars on transporters and wherever I could be. I always had a boiler suit in the boot of my car. So I'd take it out, put it on, put some gloves on. I could do whatever I want. I had a pair of work boots on. I could take the work boots off, take the gloves off, take the boiler suit off, and I could be walking around in a suit and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went to the car auction and I was in a boiler suit. And he said, I imagined you. He said, oh, what? Blazer and different things. I said, yeah, I can wear that. I said, but we've had a busy day. He said, oh, yeah. He said, oh, don't worry. He said, I'm not judging you. I said, it wouldn't bother me if you were. He said, years ago, he said, I learned that lesson, don't judge a book by the cover. He said, I used to have a record store, he said, in London. He said, I walk about in suits and blazers. He said, shirt and tie and slacks, trousers. He said, a mate of mine said he knew this fella, bit of a hippie guy, bringing records in, he said, from like different parts of the world. He said, you two should get together. He said, we got together. He said, this other guy was doing really well. I was doing really well. He said, we got together. He said, we both sort of coming out the gate. And he said, he turned up. He said, his hair was everywhere. He said, he was in a jumper, bloody jumper. He said, and it looked like it belonged to Christmas. He said, I didn't take him seriously. And he said, I didn't do business with him. He said, my mate said he was a good guy. He said, I learned a very valuable lesson. He said, that guy was Richard Branson. He said, he turned up with his hair all over the place. He said, in a scruffy jumper. He said, I could have gone into business with Richard Branson on records. He said, before Richard Branson was famous in records. He said, sir, I don't look at people now. He said, what I do know, he said, you've turned up in a border suit. He said, I've got people out there, he said, that are dressed to the nines. He said, you'd think they were rotten with money. He said, I ain't got to put a piss it. Excuse my language. He said, but you turn up. He said, they don't know. He said, most of the cars in this auction are yours. He said, and you're the one that least likely looks like they got the money. So the relationship is when people know you. Now, him and I got on very well. I don't know where he is now. I've been back in Ireland 20 odd years, so I don't know. I haven't seen any of the old crew or anything like that. But I could have asked for anything. I could have gone into that auction, and I mean, a year or two on when it was back to its norm, I could ask for anything. I wouldn't, but if I needed it, I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this bloke drove a Bentley. If I said to him, Rupert, lend us the keys to your car, yeah, or can I borrow your car? I need to go to Gatwick or I need to do that. He would have given me his keys to his car.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll give you a good last bit. I was coming over here years ago, and a friend of mine, George, he'd bought a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser, top of the range. Yeah? And he knew I was coming over. He said, what are you going over in? I said, I'm going in the Mercedes. Yeah, and I had a Mercedes, a couple of years old. It weren't like, he said, oh, don't do that. He said, here, boy, take that. And he gave me the keys to his brand new Toyota Land Cruiser. Oh, man, it was only about a month old. He said, there you go, son. Take that and go over in that. Oh, he said, you won't drive about a month. Oh, I said, no, you're fine. He said, no, take it. He said, I'll be insulted if you don't. That's a business relationship.
Yeah.
And like I used to, like, when years ago, I used to, a mate of mine down at Brighton and that, and he used to do really smart cars. Now, I was a worker, yeah, but I could phone him up and I could go, Ricky, he'd go, yeah. I say, what cars you got on the lot? And he'd go, this. I'll go, right. He'd go, which one do you want? And I'll say, yeah, give me the Porsche. He'd go, fair enough. I'll send John over with it if you run him back. I'll say, yeah. Now, he was lending me the Porsche for the weekend. He was lending me.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be doing that every weekend, but that's a business relationship. We were mates. So I used to think, now, did I take the mickey out of him? No. Yeah. I had a place in London, and he used to go to London now and again. Yeah. And I used to rent this place out, a bit like Airbnb before its day. It was like, it wasn't weekly, as in full time let. I used to rent it to people that were coming in, like top professionals, and I used to rent it to the company for them when there's a visitor coming, like a top executive. Really nice place. And if it was free, he used to phone me up and say, "Is that London place yours free? When do you want it for?" And I'd look at it like that, and I'll go, "How long do you want it?" He said, "Oh, 3 or 4 nights." I said, "Yeah, it's free." Now, if I gave it to him for free and a company phoned me and wanted it, I'd say, I'm sorry, it's booked that week. And I wouldn't get a penny for it.
Yeah.
But we were mates. It would just be done. So a business relationship is, you must have a relationship.
I think, Lee, it's more than mates. I've got friends.
Oh, it's trust.
Yeah. I've got friends. It's a different kind of trust. It's an honourable trust that you have there.
Oh yeah, I know, definitely.
It's been beautiful. You know what we learned, and all our viewers, all your people watching this, we're dedicated to this series that we have set Mind series, is that you got to listen to the messages that Lee is putting in here. Got to listen to the detail of the essence of what Lee is delivering, which is, business isn't just about a connection. It's about a deeper honor and loyalty that you have for each other that you probably wouldn't have with your best mates, because they would, sometimes your best mate, or seeing the best mate, wouldn't open their wallet up to you and say, take my cards, I've got your back. It wouldn't be
it's that. It is a bit like that. I suppose you can't be a prophet in your own land. I suppose, and that's it. There is I won't say a skill set to it because then it sounds it can sound toxic. Your reputation's everything, and it does come back to honour. Is a bit like people say he's a man of his word or she's a woman of her word. What does that actually mean? It means that the future is safe, that your word is not going to change because of circumstances or emotions.
Wow.
That when you say something, God, him or herself, will not change it. And even if you know, that in a sense you've said something and then you realize the consequences of what you said and you've given your word to it, you hold your word because your word is your currency in business. So that's why you have to know the details. But your word is for present to future.
Yeah.
So now nowadays I don't do business. I mean, people probably haven't got the depth of the relationships would. I mean, I bought houses on a handshake. I bought cars on a handshake. I mean, literally, I bought cars over the phone and haven't seen them on description. I don't mean car, I mean cars at the same time. So a friend of mine at Crawley down near Gatwick, Tim Holmwood, he used to buy a lot of cars from me. He phoned me up, so I got this, and he'd tell me. And I would take him at his word. Now, some people would say, for example, it's got 3 months MOT. Tim wouldn't. I mean, if he had a chip, and even after he sold it to me, go, Lee, that whatever, that, I don't know, that Granada, going back a lot of years now, so that Granada, I didn't see the chip on the window screen, so I've knocked 100 quid off of that for you. Well, there wouldn't be no debating because everything we done in the present was to ensure a few things. The one, we were fair and honourable, but we always had to keep the future safe. We always had to keep our reputation intact because we done everything on trust. Now, some people might phone you up and say, it's got, and how long's the MOT? 3 months MOT. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, okay, it's enough. We've got enough on it to get it away. 3 months MOT could be the last Friday in February, the 28th, and 1 month of March and the 1st of April. That's 3 months MOT. No, that's 1 month and 2 days. So some people would tell you it's got 3 months MOT. Others would say, it's got 30 days MOT. They'd be that descriptive. Why? Because they knew that you were making decisions on the information that they were giving. Some people are very good at delivering information with no character or honour. They say whatever to get you to sign, and that doesn't build a reputation. Now, with me, there would be people that say, I'm an absolute nightmare if you break your word to me. Or if you try and say, well, I didn't say that, you must have misheard me. No, I was specific, I asked this. And there's no consequences in that other than I will never do business with you again. Now, if by chance the circumstances have changed and you want releasing from your word, Lee, I didn't know this at the time, and I thought it was going to cost 2,000, and now because of the pricing. I get things changed. So, for instance, if it was the case like that, let's say, I don't know, and I'll leave it with this. Let's say ink has gone up, and I don't know, you do a lot of printing for me, and you've decided you've been printing flyers or brochures for me for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's always around, I don't know, let's say 1,000 quid every month, let's say. Then I've heard on the grapevine, ink's gone up. Yeah. But my invoice comes at the end of the month and it's still 1,000 quid. And I'll phone you up and you're the printer. I say, Paul, got the invoice in. Yeah. It's the same price, mate. How's that? You go, what do you mean? Hasn't gone up, mate. Oh, I know it hasn't gone up. I'm just asking, why has it gone up? Ink prices have gone up. How come the invoice ain't? Oh, no, we had a lot in stock. It may go up next month. So fair enough, just checking. Or you can say, well, look, you're a good customer, Lee. Yeah, I know ink prices have gone up, but like you're a good customer, and we need to keep you on the books. And I would say to you, you can't keep me on your books like that.
Yeah.
Somebody else is paying for my ink. I pay for my own ink.
Oh, wow.
What was the increase? Otherwise, I'm a consumer. I cannot be feeding off of Paul Rees' family or his kids. That's integrity and that's honour. So if I know something's changed and I don't see, or I haven't had the call and nobody's communicated to me, then I will communicate on their behalf and go back if I've got a relationship. If it's transactional, I'm going to hold them to the price. But if I've got a relationship, transactional means I may never do business with them again. If they quote me that, I'll hold it. Yeah, it's not like empathy, respect, decency. They're all whether you're transactional or whatever. However, common sense and decency, that's where you build a good reputation. Now, accountability, you can't have a word without accountability.
Yeah.
You can't have it. Or if somebody goes, a bit like they're coming to ECI, I want to do X. Brilliant. Now they're in ECI, you're doing X? No. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning this and that. Well, how long are you going to be in ECI before you do X? You told me you wanted to do X. So don't do X.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll do what I want. You get what I mean? You got to hold people to what they say, because if they say it and they don't mean it, then they're actually destroying their life and their business. Wow. Anyway, we've got to shoot.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, mate.
No, this has been beautiful, because the realization is here there are so many layers and shapes to what makes up for a connection in network and a connection in business. And also there are shapes within that. And it really is about, what we've shared today with our audiences is understanding, look at it from a microscopic point of view, see the value of, your connection and you to that person to you. It really has brought those.
Last bit I'll leave you with. So let's say you and I know 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know, we know the 10 same 10 people. And let's say I let you down, do it that way around. I let you down. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize in networking, I let you down. And then you don't want the other 9 to know. So you go and then, that lead, and you start. So I let you down and you tell the other 9, because you have to tell the other 9. Yeah. That's not gossip. You have to tell the other 9. Why? Because it's your job to keep the network safe. If you don't tell the other 9, and you're allowing that relationship, if you don't tell, now I'm not about silly stuff. I was late for a meeting 2 minutes. It happens, especially in the virtual world. I mean, I had to pack up for a come on here. But if you've took money from me, if you've tricked me, if you've lied to me, and then you're playing silly bugs, I'll take me to county court, take me this. You've got to let the other 9 know immediately. Yeah. And you've got to let them know in a way, not to discredit me, to protect your reputation, because it's the domino effect. And that you can't go in slagging them and putting them down. You've got to lay it out. And you might have to put a name to it. And it could be, especially if they're very close. I'm not sure if you're aware, but 1 of our 10 is taking money under false pretenses. I'm not going to give you the name, but I do know you're very close to them. I do know you're doing business with them. And I can show you the paperwork. Because what a lot of people do is they dance around. I didn't order the beans. I ordered. Because that's what networking is. Networking is a team. And it's not a team putting some down. It doesn't matter if you're a football team and you're just learning to kick the ball. It's irrelevant. It's whether you've got character and honor and integrity. Wow. If you're a gossip just, I don't like this and I don't like that. You're not interested. Not interested. You're not going to like some of the people in my network. They're not going to like you. But business people ain't interested in like. They're interested in success. So you can do business with people and they might like you. You like golf and they like fishing. I can't do that golf thing. I ain't got the patience for it. You got patience for fishing, I'll shut up. You don't have to like each other. You do have to respect each other. Yeah. And you do have to, and respect comes with value. See, when you see that Paul Rees is good at what he does and Lee is what he does, but our personalities might get in the way. But business people are smart. Yes, right. I'm interested in what Paul does. What he does personally, nothing to do with me. Has he got a word? Has he got character? Can he keep to his word? Can he be accountable? Has he integrity? Then I'll do business with him.
Wow. There it is. There is,
anyway,
Lee, that's
I love you and
absolutely
leave you.
amazing. And we've had a big deep dive today for a
But
big
I'll leave
reason.
you with this bit.
Go on.
Right. Have you ever seen Elvis Presley?
Not in person.
Right. But you can go and see a good tribute act.
Yes.
You got to find the Elvis and everybody in their business or the Beyonce. Don't look for the good cover.
Wow.
Don't look for the tribute. And now you know that you can ask the right questions. If you're not sure, ask their network and they'll tell you. But if they go, I don't like this and I don't like that, I don't know why he's a bit sharp with his words. Yeah, most business people are. Real business people are right on the money. Bang. Yeah. Why? Because if they're not, that leaves it open for miscommunication, and miscommunication always ends up in drama. True business people don't like drama.
Lee, thank you so much. Until this time next week, don't forget to subscribe and to like and to love everything about who we are.
Have you noticed?
We've had a couple of freeze moments throughout the whole deep dive, but it's been beautiful. Until this time next week, I'm going to say bye for now. And Lee, anyway, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye now.